Hi everyone, my name is Angela Ficken and I'm the owner of Progress Wellness here in Boston, Massachusetts. And today's topic is all about how to tolerate intolerable emotions. Sounds super fun, right? Like sign me up. Well, actually it's really important to learn how to tolerate intolerable emotions. And it's also really hard work, which is why I think this is a super important topic. And I want to share 2 skills today that you can try to practice. So when you are in a hot, negative, challenging emotion, you've got some strategies to try to sit with those emotions and make better decisions for yourself. So what does it even mean, tolerating intolerable emotions? Well, it means that I can be in a really uncomfortable emotional state, like angry or stressed or anxious. And instead of letting those emotions dictate my behavior and actions, I can actually acknowledge I am feeling this way and what do I want to do about it? Rather than my knee-jerk reaction. And we all have this experience where we feel a strong emotion and our reaction is just get rid of it. Like, I don't like feeling this way. No one likes feeling this way. I just want to get rid of it. And I can also say that I've never met anybody who's made $1 million decision when they're feeling highly stressed, highly anxious, or highly angry. So it's really important to think about how do we move through a challenging emotion in as smooth way as possible so we can, 1, overall improve our well-being, and 2, it also helps improve our relationships with other people because we're no longer engaging and letting those negative emotions dictate our behavior. So examples are, 1, say that you are feeling really annoyed with a coworker and there's recently been some email exchanges between the 2 of you. And you've decided, you know what, this is a really good idea. I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling frustrated and annoyed with this person. I'm just gonna give them feedback as to why they are so annoying. And I'm just gonna list it out. I'll answer their question on the email, and on top of that, I'll give them this feedback. So you write out the email, you read it, you're like, yes, this is exactly what I wanna say, and you hit send. And you might instantly feel a little bit of relief. You feel less angry, maybe you feel less stressed, and you think, okay, this was a good decision. Then about 10 minutes later or 30 minutes later, you're like, ooh, I probably shouldn't have said that. I actually didn't mean half of what I said. And now I've got to go clean it up. I've got to go apologize to this person. And it's out there in the ethers of email. I said what I said. And now, the repairing of the relationship has to come, and that just takes more effort. So if I had just not sent the email when I was in the heat of the moment, I wouldn't be here. Another example I often use is you put a thoughtful, logical, rational person behind a car, and all of a sudden, they are losing their minds in anger, right? Stuck in traffic on the highway, they're late for work. All of a sudden, this thoughtful person is flipping people the bird, they're cutting people off, they're swearing, just letting emotions like anger just dictate their behavior. And they're not thinking rationally. They're not thinking that they're behind this machine that has the possibility of really hurting themselves or somebody else, and that there are real consequences to acting out this behavior. So that's another example where I can say, okay, here is where anger or a challenging emotion can dictate behavior, and we're not thinking through the consequences. So what are some skills that can help us think through responses before we engage with an emotion? So 2 that I often start with in my practice are, 1, try holding something really cold, like ice. So tonight, or if you're home right now and you're at your freezer or near your kitchen, grab some ice, hold it over the sink, and try to think about anything else. Say the alphabet, think about what's for dinner, think about a vacation you want to go on, just think about something. And see how long you can do that until you can't anymore and you're just solely focused on your hand is really cold. And at that point, flip hands and notice that hand start to thaw and the other hand start to get really cold. And again, see how long you can hold it and then throw it in the sink. And that is what I call a brain break. You have literally paused your brain from thinking about whatever the emotion is, anger, anxiety, or stress. And you have paused long enough where your brain, by the time you throw the ice in the sink, can now think, what do I want to do about this? I'm feeling angry. I'm still feeling angry. I'm still feeling stressed or anxious or annoyed or all of the above. But what do I want to do about it? So holding something really cold just gives that break. It breaks up the emotional response and gives you the pause to then think more clearly. What are your options? So try holding ice. The next option that I offer in my practice and talk about a lot is a pros and cons list. It can sound pretty simple, but again, when we're in the heat of the moment, sometimes it can be hard to get to. But a pros and cons list means that you're writing out, and I would say write it out. Don't do this in your mind, because if you try to do it in your mind, the negative emotion is just going to steamroll it. So write this down. What are the pros and cons of engaging in the emotion? What are the pros and cons of not engaging in the emotion? What are the other options you have if you don't allow the emotion to dictate your behavior in this moment? So pros and cons, write it out, and then be able to look at it and really think about, like, what is honestly in your best interest. You can still feel the emotions. This isn't a light switch. It doesn't just wash away the emotions. But what it does is it allows you to sit with and be uncomfortable with, I don't like this feeling, and what do I want to do about it? So holding ice gives us that brain pause that we need. And then writing down pros and cons can really give us the options to see we've got more of a choice than rather than letting this emotion dictate our behavior. So if you're interested in learning more, I actually do share this topic in my July newsletter, How to Tolerate Intolerable Emotions, and I offer 2 other strategies as well. So if you listen to today's talk and then also read my newsletter, which comes out next week, you'll have 4 total strategies to practice to learn how to tolerate intolerable emotions and make better decisions for yourself when feeling a strong emotion. And you can sign up for my newsletter if you haven't done so already on my website, which is progresswellness.com. I hope you found this talk helpful, and again, it takes a lot of practice, but you can get there, and I wish everybody all the best. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.